Hi, it's Linda with No Frills ASMR. I found this little booklet that is a guide to Navajo rugs from the Southwest Parks and Monuments Association. And Navajo are Native Americans, and they are known for making very high quality rugs and pottery. So I just thought we could take a look at this little booklet and see what we see. This book was copyright 1992 by Southwest Parks and Monuments Association, Tucson, Arizona. I won't read all of this, but just so you understand what it's about, I'll read the first little bit. It says, "This booklet describes the basic characteristics of today's most common Navajo rug styles, but every rug, like its weaver, is an individual. In Walk-in Beauty, Mary Collenberg and Tony Berlant describe Navajo textiles as manifesting their weavers' place among people, their integration with the landscape, and their oneness with the spiritual forces of life. In times past, weavers had few opportunities to talk about their work with anyone who lived more than a few miles away. As a result, distinct regional styles emerged because weavers only shared what they knew with their children and nearby neighbors. In some cases, traders at local posts fostered particular designs based on popular notions of how a Navajo rug should look or on trends in home decorating. Traders also provided dyes and yarns that have influenced the colors and techniques weavers used in their rugs. Many traditional weavers still depend entirely upon their own resources, however. They raise the sheep and shear, wash, card, and spin the wool themselves. They dye it, as their mothers taught them, with native plants such as wild walnut, lichen, and rabbit brush, or use the wool in its natural colors." So I thought that was pretty cool. My uncle is a collector of a lot of Native American art. I don't think he has rugs, but that's not like, he's kind of more into the pottery. But we went, when I lived in Arizona, he'd come out and we'd drive all over the Southwest. And we went to Navajo. I guess they call it the Navajo Nation, maybe, I can't. Anyway, and actually went to some artist places there. But more potters, I guess. But we did look at a lot of rugs too, and he did buy some rugs. Anyway, all very interesting. Yeah, it's all interesting. Because like they say, they all have sort of different meanings, and if you talk to the artists who make them, they can tell you about them. It's interesting. The chief blanket is the earliest established weaving style known. The name comes from the high status of those Pueblo and Plains people to whom the Navajo, who do not have chiefs, traded them. That's interesting. I didn't know that the Navajo didn't have chiefs. So I learned something there. A chief blanket today is distinguished by its square shape and by its plain design in blue and red, black and white. When the four corners of a chief are folded to meet the center, the design is the same as when it's unfolded. That's interesting. So if you pull that one, and that one, the design will be the same. The basic pattern has evolved over time in 4 phases. The first chiefs were woven in plain stripes of blue, white, black, and brown. Then bayeta became available, replacing brown. So yeah, they talk about how it's kind of changed. They say Spider Woman did weave like that. From her, everyone started weaving. Yeah, there's a lot of belief. And I don't know anything about it, so. But I think there is a lot of belief in the spiritualness of nature, animals, great animals, and great spiritual animals. And I think that's pretty cool in the Native American culture. So let's see. So this is the first phase chief design. And then the second phase. And the third phase. Huh. And these are all made in Arizona. Ganado. Ganado rug always has a red background. For this reason, it's sometimes called a ganado red. Typically, the black, white, and gray design is based on a central diamond or two. The black, white, sorry, I'm looking at this one. The edges of the central shape are embellished with geometric flourishes. Serrates, crosses, zigzags, and simple geometric shapes decorate the corner spaces outside the central design. So all along here, it's different. A ganado rug usually has a dark border. So it'll have a red on the inside and then a dark border and then these designs. That's interesting. Trader John Lorenzo Hubble first popularized ganado-style rugs, promoting them by catalog to households in the eastern states. They are named for the little town of Ganado, where in 1878 Hubble founded a trading post, which still operates today as Hubble Trading Post National Historic Site. Ganado was named for a very important Navajo leader whom the Spanish called ganado mucho, or much cattle. Because of its long history and wide distribution, many people consider ganado a classic Navajo rug style. It's beautiful. This is a quote. My grandmother make a real small carding board for me to card wool. I don't know what carding wool means. It came out something like 2 inches, so I used it just to play with. And every time grandmother was carding, I would imitate her, trying to do what she was doing, says Marie Oski from Ganado, Arizona. So yeah, you can see how that has the red background. All right. I don't know really how to say this, but I'll give it a go. It almost looks like, Irish to me or something. Clagato. Clagato rugs resemble ganados, but a typical clagato is dominated by its gray background. The weaver uses black, white, and red in design, which is usually centered on an elongated diamond. Okay. Except for the red, the different wools used are natural colors, although black wool may be enhanced with commercial dye. What's this quote? Shear the wool, then card the wool. Card a lot of wool for the warp, depending on the size. I don't know what any of that means. Spin the wool several times to make it thin, and if you are going to make red wool, you have to build a fire and boil it and spin it. It takes many days just to do that, says Mary Lee Begay from Chinle, Arizona. I lived in Arizona. I don't know how to say that word. 2 Gray Hills. I can see why it's called that. True 2 Gray Hills rugs are woven of natural, undyed, hand-spun wool in designs of white, black, and brown. Weavers produce subtle shapes of these basic hues by carding together wool from different sheep. Oh, that's neat. The wool is often quite fine, requiring more weaving time, but resulting in an exquisite rug. Because of the considerable time and effort required to prepare hand-spun wool, rugs made from it may cost twice as much as those of comparable size made from commercial yarns. Yeah, can you imagine? So these color differences are partially just because they're different sheep. I mean, that's what it said, right? That's crazy. Ignore the spot on my hand. It's lip stain I was showing in another video. Okay, hold on. I gotta move my chair a little. Burnt water. I like that. That's pretty. Burnt water, a rich combination of earth tones and pastels, distinguishes burnt water rugs. Warm colors such as brown, sienna, mustard, and rust are accented with a sparing use of pale, milky colors including rose, green, blue, white, and lilac. The newer style, an elaboration of traditional two Grey Hills designs, is usually woven in the vegetal colors, favored by weavers of the wide ruins burnt water area of south of Ganado. Are they going to show us some of those? Nope. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I don't recall ever seeing one in these kind of colors. I feel like when you go to the stores, they're usually these more earth tones than these pastel colors. Like this is something I feel like. So I guess you would say that Chanel, Shinle. I don't know. They should give us a little. The Chanel, I don't know, is one of 3 styles of banded rugs, which usually have no border. Oh yeah, there's no border. I don't want to say this wrong 100 times because I know it'll probably upset somebody, but I'm trying. I just don't know. Chanel's are the simplest of the banded rugs with stripes of plain color, alternating with bands containing repeated geometric designs such as squash blossoms, stacked chevrons, and diamonds. They may have railroad tracks as well. That's interesting. Okay. Making a rug is not just anything. You have to be careful. Even the tools you work with, you have to take good care of them. You don't kick them and break them up. You keep them for your children's children to use them. Evelyn Curley, Ganado, Arizona. I think I know this name, Evelyn Curley. Huh. I have to ask my uncle about that. Evelyn Curley. That sounds familiar to me. Interesting. This rug is by Irene Harvey. Wait, are these rugs all made by women? Brenda Spencer, Marilyn John, May Benelli, Evelyn Curley. Okay. This name is definitely familiar. Nellie Smith, Evelyn Curley. Okay, she must be a huge presence because I knew that name. Okay, Evelyn Curley. Catherine Yazzie. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, I like this. That's cool. Wide Ruins. Wide Ruins is the most elaborate banded rug style. It's also, sorry, I can't read that one. It also has broad stripes of plain color and some stripes with geometric designs, but weavers add very narrow bands with delicate motifs, plus thin, straight lines of contrasting colors. Shapes within the broader bands are usually outlined with a different color. Wide ruins are usually the most finely woven banded rugs. Yeah, they look beautiful. It's just, you know what about this? This really reminds me of the Arizona desert. It's like, gives you the feeling of the desert when it's so hot that there's like it's almost like a mirage. Like you can see these warbly, I don't know how to explain it. But if it's really hot on the desert, the air starts to have a look to it like this. The air goes whoosh, 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 and you can see it. Does that make sense? When I start to weave, there will be a spider, and my mother say, "Don't bother it. Let it run around on your loom. Otherwise, you might run out of wool, and it make the rug worth a lot more," she say. Says Vanny Man of Spider Rock, Arizona. Yeah, I think this respect for creatures is a thing I really, really like about the Native American culture. Wide Ruins by Betty R. Rowan. Yeah, that's cool. Crystal. The crystal style of banded rugs features a very specific difference. The wavy line produced by alternating 2 or 3 different colors of weft, W-E-F-T, strands. I'm looking at it to see exactly what they're talking about. Crystal rugs typically group 3 bands of wavy lines or a solid color between 1 or 2 complex bands. Generally, the complex bands are patterned with squash blossoms, but they may feature other motifs, such as arrows, stars, crosses, triangles, bear paws, or diamonds. I'd like to see the bear paw. The colors used in weaving crystals tends to be muted earthen colors such as rust, gray, and rich brown. And this one's by Fanny Begay, Crystal, New Mexico. And this says, my aunt, or aunt, depending on how you say it, I was small and she would tell me, learn. She would make me and chase me over there to do it. In one summer I learned. Now I am glad that she used to chase me to the loom. Mary J. Barker. Look at that one. It's kind of psychedelic looking. Eye Dazzler. Yeah, that's a good name for it. Eye Dazzler. Eye Dazzler rugs are just that. Busy, eye-dazzling weavings of any combination of colors. Usually the design is a simple geometric shape. Chevron, diamond, serrate, triangle, repeated through the entire rug. There may be a border. Not all the way around this one, just at the top and bottom. Occasionally, the Eye Dazzler design will appear only in blocks set off against a solid background. Eye Dazzler is one of the earliest styles of rugs and was influenced by serape blankets worn in New Mexico. They came into their own in the 1870s when traders imported bright Germantown wool. Weavers suddenly had a brilliant new range of colors to work with. Why do I feel like this Eye Dazzler is one of the earliest styles of rug doesn't, because it doesn't feel like a true, maybe it is, I don't know. Anyway, in our tradition, you are not supposed to finish a rug at night. I asked my mom why, and she said, just leave a little to where you can see the string, then all you have to do is put it together in the morning. Then I said, no, I want it off tonight so I can clean it and all that. She said, you'll go blind. Laura Moore, Nazalini, Arizona. Interesting. Eye Dazzler by Pauline Nez. Ooh, this one's cool. I like the contrast. That one. Oh boy, how do we say this? Tic nos pas. Always surrounded by a wide border and filled with an exuberant variety of motifs. Tis rhymes with geese. Tis. Nos pas rugs are often large. Because of their size and complexity, tis nos pas weavings can be very expensive. An elaborate center is often enhanced with stylized feathers and arrows. Claw-like angular hooks extend from the points of the diamonds and triangles. Zigzags are everywhere. The wide borders of the tis nos pas often contain a lightning path. A lightning path. I wish they showed like examples. This looks like a bird, or no, this looks like a butterfly, doesn't it? See the like a moth maybe is in the middle. There are two of them. And then that looks like an arrow. Tisnospas is a bold, busy, exciting design. Many experts believe it developed from pictures of Persian rugs. Others see no connection. The name comes from a settlement in the northeast corner of Navajo country. It means cottonwoods in a circle. What is this quote? I do it out of pride because my grandmother did it and my mother did. I want to do it to carry on tradition. I guess it's pride and tradition, says Lenora Davis from Ganado, Arizona. Tis, nos, pause, Bessie, Lorgo. Storm. The storm rug style is distinguished by its design, not colors. This abstract design is supposed to contain the Navajo symbolism for a storm, but it is widely believed that a trader in Tuba City developed and promoted it among local weavers. And I kind of believe that because I feel like this is what you see like in the more gift type shops. Like there are a lot of these trading post kind of places that are gift shops, and a lot of them will say going out of business 50% off. And they say that all the time because they know they have enough tourists coming through that they always think they're getting a deal. And that's kind of what that makes me think of. This is by Sarah Sinney, Tuba City, Arizona. What is this quote? They used to pass out papers and say, "You weave one like this." Grandmother that passed away, she never did copy one. She didn't want the paper. She used to say, "I'll weave my own pattern." Good for her. Good for Grandma. Mike's daughter, Frank, Jedito, Arizona. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong too. Jedito. I don't know, maybe. Oh, look at that. It's like a folk art almost kind of thing in it. This is by Louise Nez, Cedar Ridge, Arizona. Let's see what they say. A pictorial rug portrays a bit of Navajo reality, a woven journal of the features of the weaver's daily life. Many pictorials are landscapes with a hogan, a corral, and a pickup truck, a woman in a long skirt. Sheep, cattle, and horses are often shown too. The landscape usually includes rock formations, trees, ponds, and clouds. Railroad trains, panel trucks emblazoned with soft drink logos, and even aircraft also show up in pictorials. Well, that would be really interesting. Oh yeah, I see there's a pickup truck. Is that the Hogan? I used to know, is that the Hogans where they live, where people live? Is that right? A lot of times on the reservations, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of, there's a lot of poverty, I guess, and a lot of trailers that people live in. So I wonder if that's what we're seeing there. I'm not sure. And that looks almost like a bee, a bee box almost. And there is something here. And then the mesas and the plateaus, goats. That's pretty cool. Sometimes I usually weave all day and herd sheep and help around the house and chopping wood. It seems like every time you look up, there is a jet plane. Eli Van Winkle, Nazlini, Arizona. Many pictorials are still woven without perspective or shading, but some weavers are producing surprisingly realistic pictures. That's interesting. Sand painting. These pictorial rugs are based on ceremonial sand paintings and thus are considered somewhat controversial. They portray the spiritual realm of the Navajo people. Depending on the ceremony for which the original sand painting was made, These extraordinary weavings may show supernatural beings and their magical implements, the spirits of the earth and the sky, the powerful creatures and plants. Common elements in sand paintings include snakes, feathers, lizards, and whirling logs. What's a whirling log? Sand painting rugs are square. Their colors have definite significance. So they're controversial because it's like kind of like selling the religion, not the religion, but the spiritualness. Is that why, I wonder? I'm not really sure. It says, pray to it and talk to it. That is what my mother says to me. I hear her praying in the morning to her loom. Ah, Mary J. Barker, Wide Ruins, Arizona. The area around Shiprock, New Mexico is known for sand painting rugs. A medicine man named Hoosteen Claw, who used real sand paintings in curing ceremonies, is believed to have been one of the first people to weave them. Oh, I remember rugs like this for sure. These are definitely, you'd see these in gift shops or art stores. I can't remember. How do we pronounce this? Yay. Or yai, pronounced yay. Rugs depict yays, the supernatural holy people who communicate between the Navajo and their gods. They are shown face front as tall, slender, stylized figures carrying rattles, pine boughs, or yucca strips. Usually the long body of the rainbow yay surrounds them. This design has elements of some sand paintings, but it is not used in ceremonies. It is controversial also. Yeah, I imagine that would be. Some weavers of yays have a ceremony performed to show respect and keep harmony in their lives. What's the quote? They have to have a sing done by a medicine man. That's how they weave them. Helen Kirk. This is by Minnie Cohn, Red Rock, New Mexico. Oh, what's going on in this one? Oh my gosh, I keep... Yebache. Yebache rugs depict ceremonies in which human dancers impersonate yays. There are usually 6 dancers, often in profile, with one leg bent as if dancing. One leg bent. I don't see that any of these people have their leg bent. Sometimes the 6 dancers, who are men, alternate with 6 women. Other figures may include a lead dancer, a following clown known as a water sprinkler, the medicine man, and the patient with whom the ceremony was performed. All of these are rendered as realistically proportioned human beings. I gotta be honest, I don't see the things they're talking about here. I don't see a clown or a sprinkler or a bent leg. They just all are standing there. They say that you are not supposed to say that your rug is ugly. The rug can hear you, and so don't talk about it that way in front of it. Mary J. Barker, Arizona. Tree of Life. Wow, look at that one. Sorry, guys, the book's trying to run away on me. With all the birds, there's like a ton of birds all around it. Look at that. That's kind of neat. The Tree of Life design portrays a tree of cornstalk growing from a basket. Occasionally a different plant, such as a thistle, will be represented. There may also be several branched trees or stalks of corn shown. Birds of many brilliant colors perch on and around the Tree of Life. Sometimes other familiar creatures, butterflies, rabbits, or squirrels, are also present. The background is usually a pale color to set off the bright aniline hues used to weave the birds. Yeah, that's pretty neat. The quote says, I was born under a tree a long time ago. It used to be like that. You were just born under a tree. Ellen Smith, Wide Ruins, Arizona. Tree of Life, Rena Mountain, Cedar Ridge, Arizona. I think this is beautiful. This one's kind of pastel in it. New Lands. The New Land style is the most recent development in Navajo weaving. Now we remember this is from the 1992. So, New Lands rugs combine burnt water colors with Tis Nosbos design and enhance the effect with a raised outline. The quote says, I usually talk to people I sell my rug to. Make sure it's going to a good home and they're going to take care of it. I guess it's like a baby. You put all that work into it, take care of its problems. You want someone who's going to appreciate it. Lenora Davis, Cornfields, Arizona. And this New Lands rug is by Susie Begay, Sanders, Arizona. Glossary. A hogan, a traditional one-room Navajo home of earth and wood. Well, I didn't see that in that picture. A warp. Sorry. The strong lengthwise threads of a loom into which colored wool is woven. What was the thing that I said? I don't know what that is. It was a I don't like to just sit here. I only like it when I'm weaving. Ellen Smith, Wide Ruins, Arizona. There was another word. Was it weft? The colored crosswise threads that are woven into the upright or warp threads to produce the design. Oh, that makes sense. So some go this way and some go that way. The warp and the weft. Interesting. Whirling logs, also known by the German term swastika, a four-armed motif found among diverse people of the world. In Navajo, it conveys a sense of holiness. It can represent the cardinal directions or the movement of spirits between worlds. Squash blossom, a design made up of triangles which resembles a stylized angular flower. A sing, a lengthy ceremony composed of as many as 500 songs, performed by a medicine man during several days or nights, to restore a person's inward harmony and health. Huh. Germantown, a yarn name for the town in Pennsylvania where much of it was manufactured. That's interesting. Well, that was sort of an interesting book, don't you think? I don't know if everyone would enjoy that, but I did. I couldn't even pick a favorite because there's so many really interesting, I think these pictorials are awesome. I love the bird, the tree of life, but I also love that one reminds me of the desert. And this one is just cool. I like them all. I like these. This one here too. I don't know why, it's just so square and basic, but I kind of think it's cool too. Oh, and then there was a pastel one. Where was that? That was kind of interesting. Right there. This one's just so different from anything I remember seeing. It's kind of neat. Can you guys see that? It's like pastel colors. I'll show you the pictorial one up close, because that one's pretty interesting. I don't love that one. For me, it's too much for my eyeballs. Oops, sorry. So you can see the person weaving, and the animals, and the pickup truck, and like a butterfly, a horse. That's pretty cool. Who can tell us what kind of rug she's weaving? gosh. Just doing like a white background. I'm guessing. I mean, this one's gray. Boy, I don't know the answer to my question.